Now to part 5 of our series, Bloodline and Blind Faith, untold stories from the Kirtland cult killings. And for the followers inside Jeff Lundgren's Kirtland cult, the people involved are still feeling the weight of what they took from other families and the losses that they themselves suffered.
In the final chapter of our series, Lundgren's oldest son and most loyal follower both reflect on their time behind bars, the dangers of blind faith, and the man who changed their lives forever.
After arrests were made and trials concluded, Jeff Lundgren's cult was dismantled. Danny Kraft was sentenced to 50 years to life. Damon Lundgren, 120 years to life. Both convicted of aggravated murder and kidnapping.
At first, I had a horrible time. I did not do well. I got in fights constantly. I didn't have the mental capability yet to live on my own, to be my own person.
About 5 years after their sentencing, Damon and Danny both ended up in Mansfield Correctional Institution, the facility where I visited and then interviewed both of them over the course of 4 months. Damon says seeing Danny on a daily basis changed the way he served his time.
I needed somebody who was better than me to force me to be better than myself. I grew up. I quit being an idiot. I quit being an inmate and started acting like an adult.
The two eventually became cellmates. According to disciplinary records and conversations with prison staff, the two finally found their way behind bars. Both are in Mansfield work programs, create art, and work on music. Copies of the prison newspaper highlight some of their proudest moments, building Habitat for Humanity homes and repairing toys so families on the outside can enjoy their holiday.
That was something I could be proud of. It was the first time in my life I ever had things I could be proud of.
I have this belief that our purpose is to learn as much as we can and then to share that, to teach others what we have learned, to help raise other people up.
Inside Jeff Lundgren's cult, blind faith and a desperate need to belong dominated followers. 35 years later, watching the world from inside prison walls looking out, Damon and Danny believe what pulled them into a cult isn't so different from some forces that shape society today.
They are a cult of personality. I was in a cult. And each person believes that the source or the author of the intelligence that they submit to, they believe that that's the good one, that that's the true one, that that's the right one.
But the truth is, if you follow a political figure, if you follow a religious figure, it's the same thing. You're getting something out of it. They're giving you words that are what you want to hear.
But the consequences of their devotion weren't typical. They were deadly. A fact they have to own until their final days.
Watch your back.
Damon's life journey is unlike anyone else. The youngest person sentenced and the son of the cult's leader.
He didn't want his father to be a prophet for other people. He wanted a father.
Unfortunately, Damon, I feel like, lost the lottery in every way possible. I don't think Damon had a choice in his life. You know, we can let him pretend he can dream and have a future, but that was never going to happen.
Look, it doesn't matter why I couldn't do anything, why I couldn't stand up to my dad. The fact is I didn't. The law is the law. Those people are dead. And there's nothing I can do that's going to bring it back. Nothing I can do that's going to undo it.
Damon and Danny have been linked for more than 40 years now. Despite being tethered by their past, the two men break when reflecting on the man who connected them.
Do you regret following Jeff Lundgren?
I don't regret it because I have learned things that were of great value to my life that led me to do a lot of the good things I have done in prison. I believe credit is due where credit is due. And We all deserve credit for all the bad that we've done, but we also deserve credit for the good that we've done, the good that we do. And I'm not throwing all the good that Jeff Lundgren did out the window.
Do you forgive him for the impact he's had on your life?
So to me, that's a weird word. To me, forgiveness is you just don't hold him, you don't hold the anger anymore. You know, he still, in my opinion, he did wrong and he owes a debt. And I don't think death, that's an easy way out. Death's the easy way out. The state gave him that. They made him a martyr in his own mind. He's not in prison. He's not suffering. Here I am. Maybe that's what I can say about Dad. I can accept what happened and I moved on. Is that forgiveness? I doubt it, but that's the best I got.
This has been an incredible series, these in-depth interviews, and I understand, Peter Fleischer joining us now, that you've heard from both of the inmates this week.
I was a little surprised when I got messages separately from Danny Kraft and Damon Lundgren this week. They haven't been able to watch the series in its entirety, but they've caught different parts. I won't say they're happy with how the series worked out because it was never about that, but they've both expressed satisfaction with the way these facts were portrayed. And that was the entire goal of our series, right, is to explain facts that had never been shared and to provide perspective that our local audience had never experienced before. And they had to admit that that's what this series was able to do. We also heard from a couple of local officials around Northeast Ohio. The lead investigator from Kirtland PD back in the day, Ron Andelsek, reached out as well. So interesting to hear those perspectives. 35 years later, a lot of those facts were captured.
And we have so much of that. What can viewers expect to see next, if anything?
Well, there is a lot left on the cutting room floor. We had over 10 hours of interviews just with those two inmates. We had more than 20 hours of interviews for this project.
Wow.
And this was just a 30-minute series. So we're going to have an hour-long documentary that is prepared sometime, we think, in mid-January. And that will be available not just to our audience here in Northeast Ohio, but across the country. These are more stories that you've never heard before, deeper dives into the personality and the life experiences of Danny Kraft and Damon Lundgren. More information, more sound, everything we couldn't fit into this new series.
Right.
We'll have that in the larger documentary.
No, it was fascinating. You and your crew, which I know you want to give a shout out to here.
Please, yes.
Did a great job.
Chris Blake,
He's the
our
best.
very, very talented photographer and videographer. I have never worked with someone who works harder and is more creative, and as great as that looked and sounded, Chris Blake deserves all the credit. We have to shout him out.
He is a craftsman for sure.
Yes.
Great work. Can't wait for the documentary. Now, if you missed any of the segments or you want to watch the series in full, you are perfectly able to do that. You can stream the series in its entirety. It's up now on our WKYC Plus app. Peter, thank you.